All right, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We are so excited because not only do we have Lindsay Gramont, our Royal Crown Diamond, here with us, but we have an expert at international development of this business. She might not describe herself as that, but I will tell you guys, I still am pretty clueless and I'm learning as I go, but she has simplified it, made it very easy, and made it something that is reachable for all of us, something that's a tangible, like, let's get after it and here's how, and a track record of results. We have international diamonds on our team already that we've had it for a while. People have been doing this normally. And then we also have people that are rising up and just starting off and sharing with one person or two people. So I know for me, I needed really her expert teaching and her simplification to have that go to my team, and then of course all of you guys that are cross-line, because we cannot miss out on this. So that's what I want to say as my opening for her. We can't miss out on what's happening. We have to be part of it. We have to grab hold of it. We have to be willing to be beginners and probably be super clunky and tripping around and figuring it out together as we go. So Lindsay, I am honored to have you on here tonight, and I cannot wait to soak up maybe 100% of your wisdom on this. So thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Ashley, and for everyone listening to this live. I really appreciate you being here live. Like Ashley said, you're going to get an opportunity to ask questions, and really there are no stupid questions about this at all. The only stupid questions are the ones that remain unasked. So please feel free to jump in after I kind of give you a quick intro, and that way I won't forget anything, because, I can talk and talk a little bit, but I want to hear from you, and I want to know kind of practically what kinds of questions you have and where you might know people. And that's really an opportunity that you have being on here live, that someone maybe listening to the replay will be able to take advantage of just by listening. So you can type those into the chat, and hopefully Ashley will help me to bubble those up. But just to kind of give everyone an intro, really my introduction to, an international market was actually with a diamond on our team, Stephanie Moram. She lives in Montreal, Canada. And so some of these terms would pop up in the very beginning when she was asking me, this was one of my first enrollments, back in 2013, and she's mentioning these terms I had never heard of. So, I'm about to go through some of those terms with you, but I think it's hilarious because even after all this time of talking to her, I still didn't really get it till I kind of had to do it myself with growing South Africa. And we also have another diamond on our team who lives in the US though, but has grown tremendously in Mexico. And so I've seen that whole market kind of grow and take off with all its various challenges. And then we have a whole other team in Malaysia. So I kind of got, a lot of information from that. So really it's just been kind of through various teams on our team that have, grown up in various places, but where I've gotten real world, firsthand experience has been obviously with South Africa most recently. But I want y'all to know that this has been an evolution of learning over the past 6 years. And one thing that I did always know in talking to people who were sitting in Malaysia or some other country was that, and this was really talking with Stephanie too, and she had such wisdom here. She didn't expect me to teach her all of this. She didn't expect me sitting in the United States to know what her virtual office was going to look like. And this was really helpful for me to kind of start off with that mindset that look, she's sitting in Canada and she figured out what that meant. She got plugged in to the local leadership there and she figured that out. And so I didn't have to learn so much with her because she really took the initiative to figure out Canada. And she's done so great in forming relationships there and really, hanging out with other people from there and really cultivating that market in a different way. And she didn't expect that from me. And I want any of you to know that if you are looking to help someone build in another market, that you don't have to know everything, okay? And that it's okay to say, I don't know, let's figure that out. or, here's where you could figure that out, or have you met with this person on the ground there to figure it out, right? So, I think it's really important to know that this is not your responsibility. You can grow in a market without, being like the person who has to know everything. Okay. It is helpful when you know some stuff, but I want you to know in the beginning, you probably won't know anything and you have to figure it out. Right. I'm about to do that with Brazil. I'm like going in the Facebook group, trying to figure out like what the deal is. So the point is, with Young Living, we, it started in the United States, but there are all these other markets. So what does it mean to be an open market? You see all the news that is saying, okay, this market's going to open in this date and this market's going to open on that date. What does it mean when we say a market is open? And what does it mean when we say, like on sales, you see the word NFR? And what does it mean when you see like that it means something says OTG? Okay, so let's just go through some of those terms. So the United States obviously is an open market. Mexico is an open market. Canada is an open market. But what you probably didn't know is that they don't have a full set of our products to sell. So like Canada and Mexico have their own limited set of products. I'm just using them as examples, but this relates to any quote unquote open international market, okay? And hopefully you're taking notes because this is rapid fire. And all the notes you get are going to help you later on. So an open market has maybe a subset of our products. We start with maybe 60 to 100. And then, that in the United States, we have like 600. Okay. So when a market is on the ground or OTG and open, it means that they have a warehouse on the ground in that country or somewhat nearby, like with Europe, right? Where they can get certain products that are registered in that country as something that is approved to sell, for us to sell and market in that country, okay? And not every product is. And so all of the rest of the products they have access to from the US are through our NFR market, which is called NFR, which means not for resale. If a country isn't open yet, but we do ship there, then that is an NFR country. So right now, South Africa is NFR. And there are now 10 other African countries which are also NFR. So what does not for resale mean? In a very simplistic sense, it means that they are tied to the United States, that they will get their product shipped from there. They have access to our entire full catalog of products, but all they can do is order them. They can't order like a ton of RC and resell it. Like if you maybe like a chiropractor or a retail store or something like that, they can't resell the product at this point, like you and I could. We could buy product at wholesale and then technically we could resell it at retail price at a retail store, right? I don't think anyone on the phone does that, but that is what it means by not for resale. So they can't buy, thousands of bottles of lavender and sell it online or something like that, okay? So what it also means is that every country that we are doing, the NFR countries, is basically means that we're not technically like able to, we're like somewhat able to sell there, but we're not like registered to sell there. Okay. So, we can sell there, but basically like we don't have any agreement to import, any product there. Okay. With that government. So for example, in South Africa, when I first started building there, and I wanted to build there like 4 years ago. Okay. I had taken kits over there and they were like, not yet. Right. And I listened to them, and there are going to be markets where I might tell y'all, not yet. Like maybe like Morocco or something. Like it's just the mail doesn't work very well. We don't really ship there. Like, not yet. Right. So that's what I was told 4 years ago with South Africa. In some countries, you might get that answer and you're going to be like, wah, wah, but it's okay because there's like plenty of other ones. So what's important to know is that when you are in NFR market and it's early on, so when I first enrolled our cousin there, like last July, it was like, okay, how is the product going to get there? Okay, so with every country, if that's an NFR country, The answer is different. Okay. So how is the product going to get there? Okay. It's going to ship from the US. You hear that, right? Like, okay. But then the country, when it comes in, basically the person who orders the product, the member that is in that country, when they order the product, they are becoming what's called the importer. Okay. They are like an individual importer. So like, you're like, hey, I'm an import export. Like, yeah, like they could say that. Like, I just imported product from Young Living. Okay. And the way that customs is going to see that is that they are an importer of this product. And so that's why we say not for resale, because we don't want them to be an importer of like, be seen by the government as importing all this product to resell in the country and flood the country with this product that's not registered, but they're just importing it for their own personal use. But what that means is that customs can put, whatever kind of duties and taxes and whatever they want on it. And that's kind of up to the country, and it's kind of different every customs person you encounter. And so like, it's a little bit confusing. So when I enrolled my cousin, what I ended up doing is we just sent her kit to my house, and my mother-in-law took it over to her when she was going over there. So she actually didn't get her kit for like 6 weeks. She ordered it, but like it was hand delivered over there to her, because the way that shipping was working, we weren't really entirely sure how much it would cost for her, to pay in taxes and duties. So when she, later on, she loved her oils and everything, and she wanted to enroll her sister, we wanted to see what the cost would be. So we actually had her sister order it and have it shipped to South Africa. We wanted to see how long it would take her to get there. And we wanted to see how much she had to pay in taxes and customs and shipping. And it was a lot. So we didn't do that again. I think it ended up, she paid like double for the kit, okay, which is expensive for South Africa. So you really want to kind of experiment, but also know like, okay, well, I don't really know how much it's going to cost for some of these countries, and you want to try and find out ahead of time. Otherwise, the person that you're enrolling is going to maybe be hit up with a lot of fees, okay? So, and again, that's nothing to do with Young Living, like at all. It is only to do with, that country and their laws. So I know this is like so dry and boring, but stick with me here because this is important to know. At some point in the fall, Young Living said, you know what, we really want to grow South Africa. We're about to open it later in, 2019. And so we want to put like a shipping solution in place. So basically Young Living is like taking a bath on all of these costs. They pulled all the costs together into one flat rate of $25. So that included the taxes, the customs and duties, fees, and the shipping all in one for $25, which is like nothing because people were paying like $100-something, okay, or more. And so when that happened, and we were waiting for it for a while we were waiting for it, we expected it to happen more quickly. And we like ended up like, we had all these people who wanted to enroll and we were enrolling them, but guess what? Like it still wasn't happening yet. And so I'm telling you this story because I think it's important to know that me and Allie, and then Allie went again. So in November and December, we literally carried like 60 kits over to South Africa ourselves for all these people who are enrolling and all of their ER orders and everything. Like we carried like thousands of dollars worth of product into the country at our own risk. And actually, like we've done it multiple times since. And one time Allie all her bags were checked and we did incur a big customs fee. So like, this is not without risk. Like you have to pay taxes if you get checked, and every country is different. So we did have a huge, import tax that we had to pay just recently on Allie's last trip. So I want to make that point that we're constantly taking stuff over there and helping them. So that's the investment that we made to go over there and do that. And we knew that it was going to pay off. So at the end of December, the shipping solution did go into place, and now they are happily getting their product shipped from the US for this $25 flat rate, and it's amazing. So but just know like that might happen, that's going to come. And, it's fine if you're like enrolling 1 or 2 people, but like this got nuts. Okay. So we had 1 member at the beginning of October and we have over 400 now. Okay, so like every time we go over there, we're taking thousands of products over there with us because they want to order certain things that they can't get over there. And I think many of you on Ashley's team understand this very well because some of you are military. And if you've heard, Ashley talk about this with APO, so if you're military, you have these special, ways that you can get mail from the US government through having an APO address, right? I don't even know what that stands for. Maybe somebody knows, but APO, it's an American Postal Office or something, probably. I don't know. That sounds right. But basically what it means is that if you were going to be shipping things over the, not on the ground, so like to get to South Africa, it needs to go on a plane. Again, nothing to do with Young Living, but there are certain products that pilots just don't want to fly in planes because they could potentially be flammable. And so you've probably heard of these being called dangerous goods. So all of the South Africans want all the dangerous goods. They want all the frankincense. Who wouldn't want frankincense? Who wouldn't want stress away, right? So they, we end up having to take those over to them, just product they order and drop ship to the US. So yes, just to stop for a minute and take a break, because that was a mouthful, and you're probably going to need to listen to that again. And Ashley just said I was making it so simple, but I really wanted you to understand, like she told me when I got on this, when we were preparing for this, that I needed to get back to the basics. So I really wanted to explain that, because I think you guys need to understand, like if you're looking to build an international market, that there are things that you are going to need to figure out that somebody else is probably not going to figure out for you. And that there are things that you're going to have to do that are very risky and entrepreneurial, and you're going to have to take that risk and make that investment. And you are going to have to know that you have to do that without any corporate help or assistance. And I've told everybody, the entire team in South Africa and anyone looking to build there, that I don't want corporate help. Like I want the team to be self-sufficient, to know, how to do this stuff, to build regardless of, really corporate's only job should be that the product gets shipped, right? And things like are in stock. Anything that we would say here is the job of corporate, do we consider it corporate's job to send us orphans and, new people to enroll and market for us? No. Do we think it's corporate's job to start up a new market? No, it's our job. We are the marketers. We are the startup people. And so that is the risk we have to be willing to take. And so, for the open markets, it's great because there is product on the ground. Just know that you want to look at what product is available there and how it's appropriate to market it there, because it's different for every country. So in Canada, for example, there's all these products that are labeled differently, that have different, claims that they can make. They can talk about eczema there and colds and, all kinds of things for certain oils that are approved claims. So, and these are all things, again, that you will figure out depending on what country it is that you are looking to grow in or somebody in. And I didn't know all this when I was starting to build in South Africa. I literally just knew that there were people who wanted kits, and I figured out a way to get it to them. Honestly, when presented with a really awesome challenge and problem, I firmly believe that create the problem and I'll figure out how to fix it. I'll figure out how to get the product there, right? If you have 15 people who want a kit, I'll fly over. I'll get it to you, ultimately that's the entrepreneurial spirit that is needed to grow in a new market. Pure and simple. So it's been truly exciting. But yeah, the PSKs are different in different markets. There is an international NFR PSK. So pretty much any country that is not open, an open market, uses this international kit. And I have photos of that kit now. I didn't as of I don't know, a month ago, we had one that was grainy and ugly. So, it's fine. It's not perfect. You're not going to have all the same materials and all the great stuff, whatever. So it gets just a little bit different. It's not a big deal. But I can, share with you what is in the NFR kit. If you look, when you go to enroll, there's different drop-down lists of different kits, and you'll see under specialty kits, there's one that says international 220 volt. That's basically the international kit because it has a different voltage on the diffuser, and it has different oils that, it doesn't include frankincense or stress away, which are dangerous goods and can't ship. So they've at least figured out that part of it for you. But it's very similar to our old kit, and it's fun to teach on. So I have a whole script on that kit if you would like it. And I know for Ashley, when she was first sharing with some folks there, she had me teach the class because honestly, she could have taught the class, but she wanted me to, explain to people how to sign up there and whatever. So happy to do that for any of you. I'm sure Ashley would be happy to do that for you now too, or anyone else that, on our team now who is building in there or any other market would help you. So, but again, just as a reminder, I didn't have that help in the beginning and I figured it out. So I know that you can too. So I want to pause there and just recap and take any questions. I also want to make one more point. The compensation plan is the same worldwide. Okay. The PV, the OGV, all of that is standardized. So you don't need to worry about that. Like the kit is still 100 PV. May not be $100, but it's all standardized. Okay. So everywhere you go, you're earning the equivalent of $50, when you sell a kit, which is great, right? Good to know. Not every country has the same rules on what you need to enroll with. So like in Canada, you can enroll with no kit. You can enroll, like Stephanie and I have joked for years. I would get all these enrollments when I used to get like 30 or 50 a month or 100 or whatever. And there'd be like 10 Canadian ones. And I'm like, here, Steph, here's all the Canadians are all 0 PV. Have fun with that. And she'd have to follow up with them all and figure out like, why did you enroll and buy nothing? But anyway, it's funny. But most of the NFR countries and open markets, you don't have to order a kit to enroll. But I still think you should, and you still teach the kit. But yeah, it's important to know that the comp plan is totally the same, so you can teach the same on it. Now, once a market is open, then they start to earn in their own currency. Before the market is open, when it's an NFR market, they are earning in dollars, but there's like all these like different systems in place in different countries that pay them. And so navigating that is always fun too. And I won't get into a lot more detail on that, but just know that, it's kind of like, oh, this money is going to be in like a PayPal, and then you can transfer it and there's fees and it's fun. So, figuring out all those creative things is fun too, but there's like a form you can fill out to get your check as a product credit, which in a lot of these markets makes a lot of sense because then they're not losing any money on the exchange. And they can pay for their ER orders if they've just shared with like a couple people each month. So as a recap, NFR markets are not for resale, and they are countries that are not open, and they are tied to the US and have their own special international premium starter kit, of which I have pictures and a script for you to look at. We'll share that after the call. And then OTG markets are open, on-the-ground markets. Obviously, United States has 600 products. Other open markets have a smaller subset of products that they can market and sell in unique ways for that country. And every country is different. And then if they want to order product outside of that, then they're going to be subject again to being the importer and having all those duties and whatever. You got to be entrepreneurial to do this. There's investment, there's risk. You've got to know people there and get to know people on the ground there, figure out what all the rules are, and just, block and tackle it and be an entrepreneur and be ready for anything. As I said, South Africa is exploding. It's growing at 100% month over month. We've gone from 1 member to over 400, and we have the first 3 official silvers in South Africa are on this team. So we know what we're doing there. We've got a lot of people sharing there. International is fun in terms of creating communities because it's totally different. Most of them aren't on Facebook. It depends on the country, but like I have found WhatsApp to be amazing and instrumental in our growth. And so we have all these WhatsApp chats, and it's just a lot of fun. And so, learning all of that and being attuned to that, and then just time zones and all the fun stuff. So that's the recap. Same comp plan. Now let's have some questions. Bring it on. Tell me where you're looking to grow, and I'll let you know what I know and hook you in with the right people. Okay, so there are some questions already in the thread. Someone asked, Becky just asked a good question for clarification. When I brought product to them, it was product they ordered on their own account. You can drop ship to the United States on any NFR account. So they can ship anything to me, and then I reboxed it up and took it over there with me. So actually the PV is on their account. It's not me buying it. Okay, I want to make that point. I wasn't buying all of those kits and taking them over there. They had actually already bought the kits. So, okay. So bringing products to people is just so you carry the risk and lessen the cost to the customer. No, I'm not. Well, yeah, you're lessening the customs duties, exactly, and the shipping costs is really why we were doing that. And then, or just DG, dangerous goods items that they cannot order there. Okay, NFR, I might have missed some like earlier on. What do I know about the Colombian market? Colombia is now an OTG market. I don't have their product list, but you could find that out. There's probably a Facebook group where you could see what product is available in Colombia on the ground. But it did open earlier this month. Ecuador has been open for a while. They have a very we have our farm there. I had a builder there too. They had limited product to sell there as well. Their kit was different. I'm not sure of the update. That builder that I have there is not building there anymore. She's just not building anymore. But she did for a while and actually hit executive there at one point in time. That was probably 4 years ago. Okay. Yeah, OTG, if you were to bring, once it's OTG, so when South Africa, flips the switch at the end of October, we will go from our members having access to 600 products to only 65 on the ground. And so it's a big change. And so we're working on educating on that now and having them stock up on things they've kind of gotten used to ordering. And then every few months after that, new things will be registered and brought online, and which is exciting, right? Like, oh, now you can get, XYZ, and they're all excited. But like, for example, in Mexico, like they still don't have Life 9. Like, just so you know, like things we take for granted, like they do not have. Supplements usually come much later. Usually ninjas early on, but supplements come much later. Okay, so if you were to bring them, like we'll probably be bringing them stuff for a while in South Africa once they go OTG. Yeah, and Tracy wrote something good there about joining the Facebook group for the country you want to build in. There are Facebook groups for each country and have a lot of information in them. There's one for South Africa, there's one for Philippines, there's one for Brazil, there's one for, all of them. Sorry, Ashley, go ahead.
No, I'll say Veronica's question was really good.
Oh, yes.
Just simple, but how do I know which ones are open market?
Okay. Tracy, I think, pointed to a link in the member resources, which is for international markets. And so you can see in there, it's not like always up to date, but so ask because it's going faster now. Like it used to be like pretty like steady. There wasn't like so many coming online so often. So, we have like, I don't know, how many markets launching this year? Like 10. And then they just announced 10 more that have already, now they're NFR in Africa. So, a lot is happening. It's moving very, very quickly. So it may not be up to date, but it doesn't mean that it's not coming online. So, just ask, call Young Living and ask, or call one of us. Okay, someone's asking if I have family in India and Israel. I know India is rough with customs. So India is rough for a couple of reasons. India is one of those ones where I got the don't do that. So yeah, India, no, because, just network marketing companies are just not, really looked kindly upon there. And it's just not something that we've had good experience with customs and just all of that. So India, I've been told, no, do not do that. It exposes risk for our company too. So there are certain markets where they literally just say no. Like, China has all these special things we have to do and registrations. And, if we don't do that kind of thing, we put our entire company at risk. So India, no. Israel is yes. Israel is coming. Israel, we are doing some stuff with Israel. There are some shipping solutions being put in place. That is fluid. Allie's been actually working on that directly with corporate for some things that we have going on there. So, but Israel, yes. So I think Israel, there's you have to order a certain minimum PV to get a good shipping deal, but there is a shipping deal. So that's good. All right. I assume markets at a glance. Yeah, probably something like that, Whitney. Not even sure. I've never looked at it myself. So just goes to show you that I just asked, can a member in an OTG country have their ER order drop shipped to a US address? Yes. So, and actually most countries, I'm pretty sure all of them, they can place 2 ER orders in a month as well as quick orders. So they can get an ER order drop ship, and then they can get an ER order shipped to their home country. So there are 2 tabs in the VO, and it's actually super, interesting learning all that, because we were like, which ER did you do? Which one did you cancel? Which one are we setting up? Because you don't want to set up both if they're not planning on doing both every month. But they can do 2. So people in Canada do 2. They have their NFR one, and then they have their OTG one. So a lot of people will drop ship to somewhere on the border and go grab it if they want for their U.S. products. I know. All these things you didn't know about, fun things that happen in Canada and Mexico. So yeah. So they can they get their ER points twice. Yeah. So cool. All the orders, right? I don't see more questions. Any more?
I mean,
they're all thinking.
What's the best way? I'm going to ask you.
Oh, okay, here's a Facebook post. Okay, I'm sorry, I scrolled up. Someone asked about Portugal and Spain. Yeah, Europe's on, so you can go for it. I don't know what the Facebook post said, or what's the reason for interest. I mean, it's just, those are new. I mean, there's always interest growing in every market. So, they're just basically probably saying something like, do you know anyone there? Because you can build there. It's basically what Young Living is saying, if that post was coming from Young Living. Okay, go ahead, Ashley.
Oh, I was going to say, because this is a question maybe I am asking for myself. I am, not just everybody learns. I have tons of contacts in 2 countries that are not the country at all that I'm working on. And I have had a really hard time. The conversation feels hard. What I mean is, it feels hard because it feels like I see lots of heads nodding, so I guess not just me. I feel like it has been so hard for me to be like, you can order a kit in the Philippines. We have a market. I really feel like a slow talking person, where they're like, that's cute. What does the kit look like? And I'm like, hold on, let me send you this clunky picture. The whole conversation has felt very and I'm not saying hard as in impossible, but hard as in, it is a very different conversation than you live in New York and I live in Virginia. So I don't know if this is possible. Could you model what a lukewarm market conversation looks like? In other words, you don't actually really see the person ever. They're not your family. Maybe you met them one time, or maybe they're your cousin's friend's daughter. I don't know.
Good question. Early on in my business, that was really the conversations I was having. Totally cold. This was not lukewarm. I guess it's kind of lukewarm, because it was people who read my blog. But I was enrolling these people in other countries, and they would be messaging me and can I get this kit in the UK? And I'd be like, let me look, and let me see what you can get in the UK. And it was much harder to figure it out then, 6 years ago, than it is now. But, I'd be like, yeah, you can get one like this, and it's awesome too. And so go and order it, and then I'll teach you how to use it. I would that was someone, who was interested. But if they don't know about it, I think, for me, what worked in South Africa was treating it just like it is here. It's the same compensation plan. It's got, huge potential in these countries. It's brand new there. And, just really explaining to him the value of essential oils in general and how awesome of a business opportunity it would be for them. And just asking a lot of questions. Like, these people who you're talking to, like, are they looking for a business? Like, why do you think that there's somebody who would want this even? So, you can't push something question, just like we always do. Then you can maybe find out what they're looking for. And they may not have ever heard of this. And, in South Africa, they hadn't heard of this, right? They were like, well, what does this mean? And, but they were the trend there was to use more non-toxic natural products. And I think in a lot of countries that is the trend, other than the US, where it's a chemical crap storm here. But I think that people in other countries are more receptive to it, to herbal remedies, to, things that have been around a long time and that ancient wisdom. And so that's really how we took it. And I really focused on it being a business opportunity for them. And, just telling them that they're earning, $50 in dollars, is a huge deal. And it's a lot of money to people in South Africa. It's a huge amount of money. And to, make something simple that is really complicated for them right now, being able to order non-toxic, types of products, they don't really have a central place to do that. And they don't have a good source for oils. I don't know what that's like in the Philippines or wherever else you're talking about, but I just think it's the same things we do here, right? Just asking those questions and, seeing where there's a need. Now, all that to say that it's not like our cousin was like knocking down our door to get oils. Like, this was like, for many years, she saw me doing this, and I never expected that she would be the one that would enroll. Like, we had thought it would be some other people. And then not only like that she would enroll, but that she would, see this opportunity for her family and bring them in, and then more and more and more. Like, she found all the people, and she really doesn't build. She's like totally focused, amazing dermatologist. Like, she doesn't need another business. But she brought all of this business to us. And so that, just know that like whoever you're reaching out to, it's probably going to be the person you least expect that will take it and run with it. And you just never know. Like, even just bringing it up to someone, they might be like, well, I don't really need a business, but my cousin does. He doesn't have a job, and this would be a truly amazing opportunity for him. So yeah, let's get a call together and you could take the both of us through it. I think that's really what happens in these markets. And then that person, because they're on the call with the cousin, they're like, wow, that sounds really cool too. I want that also. And, it just kind of goes from there. Did that answer that well?
It did. I think here's maybe a one that I'm looking at some people I might have if no one's going to wheel in to ask it. If you have built your business in person, like you have been like, I've had classes in person, it's been like all in person, then this sounds the opposite of what you do. And maybe nobody on here feels.
Well, yes. Yeah. It's not, because I flew over there.
Yeah.
And for a week and a half, I literally taught classes non-stop. And I've done it twice, and Allie's done it 3 times. And it was like literally 3 or 4 classes a day for a week and a half straight. So it's like way more classes than I've ever taught in person ever. Because I didn't build that way, right? But that is literally, when you come in, you're like, this person from the America is coming to teach us all of these amazing things, and like everybody comes. It's crazy town, okay, what happens. And I think that you'll hear that with Mexico. Like, we were just on a call today, and a lovely woman who is Silver is, having one of her first kind of make and take big events in Mexico, because she's in the US, but she has a big team in Mexico, and she's having this event, and it's for 70 people. And, you're just like, yeah, 70 people. Like, this is like, because it's when you create urgency and it's rare, you're not there all the time, then, you can do that. And just the classes there are just different, right? People in every country just are different than Americans, right? They're going to show up. They're, and every country is different. I just know about South Africa. They show up. Every time I taught a class, there were 20 to 30 people there, and that's 3 or 4 a day, and so it's just, they bring it on, right? And so that's fun because it's different than what you're experiencing here. But I would say it's definitely in person, and they're doing stuff in person. And so I didn't do a ton of Zoom classes, to be honest. They really took it after we came that first time. They really duplicated that and took it and ran with it. And they teach a ton of, they teach all the classes themselves. I'm not there. I mean, it's just like you, Ashley, like I wasn't there. Tracy was not there, right? Like the first time I met you was when you were a gold. Like that was the first time I met you in person, and you built in person and did whatever you needed to do. And you never attended one of my classes because I didn't have any. And so, like it's just true entrepreneurs will work it and figure it out no matter where you are. Just pure and simple, right? So I think most of my leaders do not live where I am. So, and so when you do live where your people are, it might be sometimes hard to wrap your head around it. Like, what's going to happen now, right? Like, I'm not there. Oh my gosh, it's not going to happen. It's all going to fall apart, right? Like, and I think it's, learning to let go of the control and the reins a little bit. Here's another question here. When you taught classes nonstop, when you went there, did my cousin initially give you these connections? Yeah, I mean, it's just like a class that you would host at someone else's house, right? They're going to invite people to come. I didn't know those people. They invite them to come, and they were at people's houses. I mean, or like at a hair salon, or like wherever the person found the venue. I basically told them, look, I will come and I will teach. You have to set up the venue and the people. You get the people there. But then the second time I went, I actually did spend time cultivating through Instagram to invite people that I found on Instagram to the classes. And I actually did successfully get probably about 20 people. Had a lot of RSVPs, probably over 40 connections, 50 connections I made, and 20 people actually showed up, and I enrolled 3 of them. So I did get my own prospects there, and I was pretty proud about that. The second time I went. The first time I just, we were just starting and whatever. Yes. So, and I worked hard to do that. Like, that doesn't just happen. That was a lot of hard work. Where do you find resources in the country's language to share? I've tried making my own. Well, Japan has been open for quite a while, and they have an experience center there. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of materials in Japanese, but let me just tell this story. So Susanna Armstrong was a member locally here, known to me and Kimberly for many years, came to my house many times, brought people, a Mexican living in the United States, speaks English, but really, like everyone she knows, speaks Spanish. And for years kept thinking, why can't Lindsay create these materials for me in Spanish? I need all this in Spanish. I want everything Lindsay is saying in Spanish. I want everything Kimberly is saying in Spanish. I just want all this in Spanish. Eventually, she just created it all herself, and now she's almost Crown Diamond. She just got over it and realized no one's going to do it for her. And if she wanted certain videos and DIY recipes and whatever things in Spanish, then she had to just do that. And she did. And she still does. I mean, I just connected her with, maybe y'all seen this book, right, from Dr. Ali. We're in Spain. Dr. Ali has this book, Doctor's Guide to Essential Rewards. He told me, hey, we think we might, I said, have you ever thought about putting this in Spanish, putting this out in Spanish? Because I think they'd love it. And he said, yeah, we just need someone to translate it. So I just connected him with Susanna, and they've been working on it. So Young Levine doesn't do that. Dr. Ali's not going to do that. Like, another example in South Africa, like they don't have materials there. They don't have LSP there. You can't get, you could, up until like a few weeks ago, we couldn't get gentle babies there. my book, it's like just a PDF. Like, I mean, it's literally like there's nothing there. They can't get rollers there easily. They can't get spray bottles. They can't, all this DIY stuff we take for granted. They can't get this stuff. Carrier oils, like there's diffuser earrings, you name it, they can't get it. Okay. Or it's like figuring out where, I mean, this has been a whole topic of conversation. Like they want to have a make and take, and it's like just finding the ingredients. I'm like, doing a make and take for 30 people. And literally we're just talking every day for 2 weeks before I was coming, like trying to find certain ingredients. I had to bring certain things with me. I was like, I have to travel with arrowroot powder. Like someone's going to think I'm smuggling in, you know, some kind of drugs or something in here, you know? But I mean, we just like, nobody could find it. And what they could find it for was super expensive, you know? So it's just, you know, you got to just figure that out. And we're just figuring that out and navigating that. We can do the app, you know, certain things, but they just can't get certain things. So we're trying to find and figure out like, well, that's a business opportunity for someone, like a one-stop shop for like oily stuff there, you know? I mean, that's a business opportunity in any of these markets. I mean, once oils explode, they're going to want all the surrounding fun things around, you know, diffuser necklaces, and it's fun, right? Like that's all new to them. They don't even know what that is, a diffuser necklace. Like how fun is that? Do you remember the first time you learned about a diffuser necklace? Like, what is that? You know, like I remember putting it on, people were like, wait, what? Like mind blown. I mean, we just take these things for granted now. But like supplies, like if you want to like have, you know, people over to make stuff, like what if you can't find beeswax or like lip balm tubes? I mean, I brought lip balm tubes, 2 big boxes of lip balm tubes with me just so we could make them while I was there on my last trip. Like I ordered them from Amazon and brought them. And every time I went, they're like, can you order me, you know, desiccated liver pills and all these things that I post about, because they can't get them there, you know? So anyway, hope that was a good answer to your question. Like, yeah, just like, don't wait for it. Create it yourself. Like if you can speak Japanese and you can write it, like start doing videos in Japanese on YouTube about oils. Like nobody else is doing it. Like you might as well do it. You'll get some enrollments from that. Believe me, join some Facebook group that's for, you know, I don't know, Japanese living in, or whatever. You get my point. Okay. Does Young Living give pictures of the PSK for different countries? No, we still don't have a picture from Young Living of the international PSK. So there's some stuff out there, but again, like order it. Like you can order it. You can order the international kit. I mean, I have pictures of the international kit now, but like, I don't really take good photos and professional photos of things. So like, I just told people it was in it, and I like bought one and showed them it on Instagram. Like I held it in my arms, you know, I didn't like take a pretty picture of it, but there are pictures of it now, you know, but not from Young Living officially, no, just from like distributors. And I have some of those in the Google Drive. Yeah. And you, like Ashley said, for months, I didn't even have it or take pictures of it. I just said, this is what's in the kit. Do you have the kit? I'd show up in South Africa. I'm like, do you have the kit? Great. Let's do the class. Like, you know, I didn't make a huge deal. Like you can show each oil individually. You have all the oils that are in it. I guarantee you, you know, maybe you don't have Aroma Ease, but buy it and you'll have it. And then you can just pop it in your kit. Okay. What other questions? I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything. You told me to get very detailed and back to basics, Ashley. Now I'm making everyone's head explode. This has been so rewarding. I mean, to have a community, this is our family. Like this is my husband's family. It's South African, and to have like an oily community there that's thriving and growing, like it's bringing such new life to your business. Yes, it has its challenges, but it is like the best thing that's happened to my business in many, many years. And it's just been so incredibly fun. And seeing all the rank ups, I mean, we had like 25 or 27 something rank ups last month, just stars and senior stars and executives, and just that newness, right? It's just so fun. And it's blessing so many people. And it's just so expensive for them there, and for them to be earning the money to pay for their oils. Like, and we had someone just retire from their full-time corporate job because she's earning enough money now, and that was her goal, and she worked hard for it. And so we're seeing all of that all over again, and it's just amazing.
Y'all have to have questions. I mean,
I'll ask a question. I mean, what I want you to type in like a country that you're looking at building in, you know, somebody in. I want to just see, like, even if you just like Philippines, okay, Philippines, Colombia, Costa Rica, Korea, Philippines, Colombia, Korea, Guadalajara, that's in Mexico, Germany, Alaska. Alaska is in the United States, Mexico, China, Australia, South Africa, Russia, New Zealand, Philippines, building in Japan right now, Colombia, yeah, South Africa. Like, all of these places are totally doable. I mean, Australia has been on the map for a very long time. We've got that figured out. Germany, India, all of these countries will, not India, all of these countries have their own Young Living Facebook pages and groups, and you can see the promos, you know, posted there. We sometimes get the promos as diamonds, we can get them. So, you know, I mean, I just don't like think about it every month to get them for y'all, but like you can get them and figure them out. And, but honestly, like the first step is just selling one kit there, just one, and developing that relationship. That's step one. Okay, what if you don't speak the language? I mean, you could get the Duolingo app and learn the language, right? My daughter does that. She's learning French and Hebrew right now. It might be good to like have somewhat working knowledge of the home country language if you want to build there. Yes. I'm not, you know, I'm just saying, like, I have some Spanish and not a lot, but yeah, I think teaching a class in Spanish would be hard. I've without really knowing some, yeah, Rosetta Stone, you know, you don't have to wait to learn the language to build there, but yes. I mean, Kimberly moved there and didn't know Spanish. She moved there to learn Spanish, really. She moved to Mexico to learn Spanish from Austin. I guess she has such a big team there now because Susana, she wanted to help them. So she was like, why don't I move to Mexico so I can learn the language and do all that. Okay, compliance in different markets. I mean, again, Chelsea, I think the key is like picking one. Pick where, like, it's again, like, create the problem for yourself, like learn as you go. I don't know the compliance rules for every country. I just don't. I know them somewhat for South Africa. I'm learning them. I don't even know all the rules for Canada, but Stephanie does. You know, I mean, I think it's kind of the responsibility of the member living there to learn to know them. Then it's not your responsibility to know them. Like they need to know them, right? Because it's okay for us to post certain things, but they need to learn what they can post. So, yeah, create the problem, learn as you go. Exactly. Thank you for recapping, Ashley. And what would hold, I'm just going to ask one last question here. I want you to type it in. What would hold you back from building in those countries you mentioned? What's holding you back? How might you find people there if you don't know people there? How would you go about that? Type in the chat. If you don't know somebody in that country, how would you go about finding somebody there? Instagram, hashtags for that country, networking with people. So asking someone, do you know anyone in the UK? Or do you know anyone in the Philippines? Ask friends, ask about people's connections. Language barrier, learn the language, right? Take somebody who speaks Spanish with you. I mean, I basically, like, that's what I do. Like, if someone comes to me and they're Hispanic and they want to learn, I will send them a video that Susana made. And you guys can send that video too. I know that Susana has been doing a lot of work in Dallas, and I know some Hispanic people there. And so I'm like, when's your next class in Dallas? And I'm finding like people to go to that class. Or I'm like, do you have time for like an hour to come to my mother-in-law's house and teach to a group of people while you're in town in Spanish? And she's like, sure. So, I mean, you make friends who speak that language and ask for favors. you know. I think that you can always figure out how to teach a class in the right language. You can, like you said, bring someone with you who knows Spanish, figure it out, right? You could get the script in Spanish and like ask a Spanish friend to come read the script next to you. Be like, I know you have no clue what this is, but I want you to come help me. And honestly, like anything. I mean, you could find one, find a friend. Language barrier, asking your downline now. Great. Travel. I mean, is travel the barrier or is travel the fun? Mary, I don't know. Are you saying that that's the barrier? I don't know. It might be the barrier for some with little kids. It was tough for me to leave for almost 2 weeks. My toddler, I had to wean him. I mean, he was close to being weaned. I had left like once or twice before, but yeah, I mean, it was close to 2 years old. And I mean, there wasn't much left there. I don't really think there was anything there. So I didn't even need to take my pump with me. But that's, you know, if you're still nursing, maybe you wouldn't want to go just right away. But that's what Zoom is for. Okay. All right, everyone. Fun. I think I covered everything. Ashley, is there anything else that I might have missed?
I mean, you can teach me forever because I still don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm learning. And just to everyone, going back to this, I can tell you with 100% just a good way of just feeling some humility. You know, I don't even think you can say that because that makes you proud. But I think about NFR and OTG every single year at convention and retreats. This is how I was. I'm like taking notes on my phone and I'm going like this. And I had no, like, I literally was like, yeah, like, it sounds great. And I had no idea. So if you are at the place right now where you're like, I saw, like, maybe in your Facebook groups, I know in mine I did, I'm sure most of y'all did, like the 10 new countries in Africa that were NFR, I am pretty sure at least 4,000 people on my team were like they don't know what I'm talking about. So they're like, yay for NFR. So please just start basic. Like, it is okay to not know what you're doing. And I always have believed that, but like with this, I am like I don't know what I'm doing. And I have a list of places and people and I don't know. And yes, Kenya is an NFR market, Nicole. So thank you for breaking it down for us, Lindsay. Thank you everybody for being here. The recording, I'm going to actually upload it as long as it's okay with Lindsay. I'm going to upload it and make it a YouTube link and share it out so it can be shared in the groups.
That's fine. Sounds good to me. Thank you so much for doing this and pulling this together. And you can share this with anyone on the team. I don't know. We might even share it cross-line. It's fine. Yeah. Thank you for everyone for putting your neck out there and wanting to learn about international. I firmly believe that anyone can do this. I mean, you just have to, you know, have some grit.